Welcome everyone, Mary Charlotte here. Thank you so much for joining us today for our pilot episode of our webcast series, highlighting the up-and-coming products and companies doing business in tribal gaming. Let me introduce our host, as you all know, Victor Rocha, Conference Chairman with the National Indian Gaming Association and editor of Pachanga.net. Victor, take it away.
Thank you, Mary Charlotte. Good afternoon, everyone. As Mary said, my name is Victor Rocha. I'm with the National Indian Gaming Association, and I'd like to welcome you to the first of a series of videos I'm going to be doing called National Indian Gaming Association's Product Spotlight. I feel very honored to have my friend, Nick Khin. Nick, welcome, my buddy.
Thank you very much, and thank you for having me. It's an honor for me.
Hey, well, welcome. So, as I was just telling you, and I can tell our viewers what's going on here, the last 9 months to say have been pretty wild for all of us. And I think one of the important things, and you're starting to see, is as the casinos are trying to stay open, conferences are not happening. There's a lot of things that are just there's so much disruption. But the one thing that goes forward is commerce and business. And I think even though we're in the middle of these challenging times, I think it's very important that we remember, especially us tribal members, is that, we're still running our business. It's very important that we keep them. And more importantly, we're looking to the future. If you listen to, read the paper today, they're talking about vaccines and rushing them. And there's a lot of light at the end of the tunnel, which we didn't have 3 months ago or even 2 weeks ago. You know what I mean? So as we go forward, I want to make sure that the tribes are made aware. And since we can't take bring Muhammad to the mountain, we're taking the mountain to Muhammad. You know what I mean? So that's exactly what this is that we are talking about business. So Nick, how are you doing this afternoon?
No, very good. Like you said, strange times. I can't believe, quite frankly, that we've only got about 6 weeks to go before the end of this year. I mean, it just doesn't feel like 2020 really even began, given what's been going on. Right?
So from a business perspective, I mean, how has this changed your developmental cycle? With one thing with the gaming industry, and as a conference chairman, I understand when product releases and we have a cycle. Has this changed your product release cycle at all?
It does. I mean, it definitely did earlier on in the year, because there was no point coming out with and launching new products when most of our customers were shut, right, and closed, and there was no indications to when they were going to be able to reopen. So we definitely did have to reprioritize things. But I can tell you that throughout this whole period, over the last 8-9 months or so, we have remained very focused on research and development and developing, the best solutions and the best products, because we know that our customers are going to need them. So we didn't pause that activity. We kept going, and we're very focused on that. But yeah, like you said, it is difficult times, and our employees more than ever now depend on us, right? Depend on all of us. Depend on our businesses to help them and their families. So our priority was obviously to make sure that our employees were were safe and were working in a safe environment. So that was the first thing we needed to do. We also wanted to make sure that our customers were supported throughout this whole pandemic. So that was very important to us as well.
Well, it seems like a company like yours seems to be positioned well for something like this, because as you go to the casinos, one of the first things that everyone focused on was the slot machines. You know what I mean? And it seems like a real rebirth with electronic table games too. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned electronic table games. I mean, certainly there's a couple of products and a couple of solutions that have been hot topics since the pandemic. Electronic table games obviously is one of them. A lot of our customers, realized that to get players to come back into casinos, they need to feel like the environment is safe and whatnot. And so ETGs is one of those product lines there, whereas a player may feel uncomfortable standing at a table, a physical table, right next to people and handling physical chips and cards and things like that. ETGs, of course, is a nice solution, right? They can still play their favorite table game, but they are in a safe area. And this worked out quite well for us, because the last few years we've been investing heavily in the ETG space. In fact, we just launched a new ETG terminal, something we call the Peak Terminal, which is a slimmer terminal, and allows operators to really configure ETGs appropriately for social distancing, so they can have pods, or they can have a stadium set up, or there are numerous different configuration options available to them. And we've got new innovative games in the ETG space as well. Roulette, for example, we innovated on that. I mean, roulette's been around for for hundreds of years, but we came out with a 000 roulette product, which has been very popular with both operators and players alike. So yeah, certainly ETGs we've seen a lot of interest from customers in ETGs. But the other solution that's got a lot of press lately and a lot of interest, genuine interest, is cashless. And this is something IGT's been working on cashless solutions for many years. In fact, we were one of the pioneers of ticket in, ticket out technology.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, when you think about it, ticket in, ticket out is kind of cashless, right?
And by the way, which we're very proud of, is that you really worked out the bugs with Tito in Indian country.
Absolutely,
especially here in California.
Yeah, they the tribal casinos were the first to really adopt this technology and to embrace that technology. And so we as you know, a few years ago, we first showed at G2E and at NIGA, we showed our cashless solution. This was back in 2016, which basically allowed players to use their mobile phone to card into a machine, and then to transfer funds from the machine back to their mobile wallet, and then transfer funds back from their mobile wallet to the slot machine. So really reducing the incidence for players of having to handle cash. And then we've kind of gone one step further now with our resort wallet product, where we're allowing players to now transfer funds from their bank accounts or credit card, debit card accounts into their mobile wallet, and then allow them to transfer those funds to the machine. So now they don't have to stand in line at a ATM, have to touch an ATM, all the buttons on the ATM just to get cash out. They don't need to handle the cash themselves. And when you think about some of these high limit players, some of these players that play in the high limit rooms, and how much cash they have to bring to a casino, they have to handle in a day, it's a lot, right? And players are genuinely worried about that. So it's a big convenience factor as well. So we're very excited about our cashless solution. We're working with a number of tribal operators right now to roll out our full solution. I think the biggest hurdle we all have, and when I mean we, I'm talking about from a supplier perspective, but also from an operator perspective as well, is making sure that players know that the solution is there, and and to teach them how to use it. Right.
What's the name of this product? Your cashless.
Our cashless solution is called Resort Wallet. Resort Wallet. That's the name of our cashless solution. And like I said, there's different. There's three kind of different variants of the solution. One is what we call carded cashless, where a player can just use their loyalty card, and they can put their loyalty card on the machine like they do today, and then they can transfer funds from the machine. So let's say they're putting money into the machine, they can then transfer those funds from the machine back into their account via their loyalty card. And then they can go to another machine, put their loyalty card in, and transfer some or all of those funds from their account into that machine. So that's what we call carded cashless. Then we've got cardless cashless, which is where you allow the player to use one of these, right? Mobile phones. And they can essentially set up their account on their mobile phone. They go sit at the machine. They can put money into the machine. When they're ready to cash out, they can hit the cash out button, and then the funds will transfer into their mobile account. Then they can get up, go to another machine, tap their mobile on that machine. So basically log in, card in, and then they can transfer the funds from their mobile phone directly to that machine and keep playing. So that's the second variant of it. And then the third is our full solution, our full resort wallet solution, where again, the player has an account that they access on their mobile phone, and that account is linked to their bank account or to their credit card account, and they can transfer money instead of getting it out from the ATM. They can transfer the funds from their account directly to their player account, and then transfer that to their to the machine if they want to play the machine, or a table if they want to play a table. It's a full-on solution.
Because obviously, because of the pandemic, it seems to have accelerated all this. I think that's one of the benefits during these last 9 months is that you have seen these technologies finally come into their own. You see people talking about sports betting and esports,
yes,
but I think a lot of that really is this touchless technology. I think this is really where the future of the industry is going.
I think you're absolutely right, because if you think about all of the other industries, a lot of the other industries, I mean, think about the taxi industry, the transportation industry, right? I mean, with Uber and Lyft and these other companies now, you jump into these cars, cash is no longer required, right?
Or drivers.
Or drive. Yes, exactly. We're heading.
Well, what's interesting is that I had this young girl working for me for the pandemic, and I was like, I was going to write her a check, and she was going to call the cops on me. So she started. Then she used an app I didn't have, so I had to get that app, and then so I think I have about 5 or 6 different cash apps on my phone. So I've just decided it's easier not to talk to anybody under 30 because.
But look, you're right. I mean, people are using cash less and less, right? And we even had a situation with one of our customers in Europe who was begging us to roll out our cashless solution because they were having players come into their venues, and the players obviously didn't have cash on them, right? And they're saying we need to find a solution for these players. They say they can buy every other goods and services without having to have physical cash on them. Why can't they play a gaming machine or bet on the table without having to have physical cash?
Well, one of the things that I really notice is, and especially as I go to my casino at Pachanga, is that the casinos have constantly provided this normality and this familiarity that it's becoming harder and harder to find in society. And so when people go and they sit down at a slot machine, it really is a release from all the societal unnorms, I should say. And I think people are learning. Obviously, some people have addiction problems. We'll address that, but I think the pandemic has really forced us, and I think this is for us as an industry is going to be better with efficiencies and stuff like that. So and I remember when I was just telling someone the other day, if you go down to the Verona Casino in Southern California, they still have cash people walking around with the big roll of cash, and they feel it's a familiarity, and people who go there remember those people. When you see them, you're like going, wow, a cash person with the little change thing and the apron with cash, and that reminded me of 20 years ago. But yet it provides a familiarity to some people, and they like it. And I think gaming does that, and especially the casinos now, they provide this a normality that I think is really important. So introducing these technologies now, people are already being forced to wear masks, stand in line 6 feet apart, stuff like that. So it really is a great time to introduce a good practices like cashless technology and stuff like that. So Nick, tell me what else. Tell me about new games. What are you guys doing? That's always exciting to go on the floor, and the whole you can see the floor is exciting, and the lights and the shining. What do you guys got new for us, man?
And making sure that the casinos have our best games on their floor is so important, because not all casinos right now are able to operate at 100%. Right? They're having to turn off either every second gaming machine, or they've got a large percentage of their gaming machines that are not active. And so the machines that are active, they need to be, the most popular and the best games out there, right? So I'm glad you asked me that question, because we're very cognizant of that. and we're working with our customers to make sure that they have our very best content on the floor to help them, ultimately. But yeah, look, a lot of exciting stuff. Wheel of Fortune continues to be a standout for us. I don't know if you realize, Victor, but next year is our 25th year having the Wheel of Fortune slot game out there.
Wow. Did you say 50?
25, yeah, 25 years. Yeah, I mean, it's been amazing for us. And also, I don't know if you realize this, but 26.5 million people watch Wheel of Fortune every week. I find that stat just incredible. I mean, it's been going a long time. 26.
Well, I mean, it really is one of the touchstones on the casino floor. I mean, you go on there and, it's people, well, you go straight until you get to the Wheel of Fortune and you make a left. You know what I mean? It's like one of those type of landmarks on the casino,
So we have a brand new Wheel of Fortune game that we've just launched. It's called Wheel of Fortune Mystery Link. And again, some of our tribal customers have been the first customers to get the game. Foxwoods, in fact, I think was one of our first operating customers to launch the game for us. So that's just gone out there on our brand new cabinet. We call it the Peak 49. It's a beautiful looking cabinet, 49-inch screen. So we just launched that in the last couple of months. On the core side, just a reminder, I think I've talked to you about this before, but IGT has been very, very disciplined about the release of games. We do not release games unless those games have passed test. And we have over 50 casinos in North America that are part of our test bank program. And so what happens is when a studio is finished developing a game, we go and put that game on these test banks. These test banks are in real casinos, real people are playing with real money, so the game's fully approved, but the game is not available for sale until that game has been tested. And the test period is 90 days. We, of course, look at the results for the first 60, but the result that we pay most attention to is the last 30 days of that 90-day period. And if the game is performing well in that last 30 days of that 90-day test period, then the game is released to our customers and is available for sale. If the game does not perform in that last 30 days of that 90-day period, then the game goes back to our studios for rework, or in some cases, and I hate to say it, but in some cases, it never actually gets released, and we stop development completely on that game. I believe we're the only game supplier today that has such a disciplined test bank program, which means that the games that we're coming out with are games that have proven themselves. So, for me and my team, when we go and talk to operators, when we go and talk to casinos, we're not having to say, hey, trust me, believe me, I think this game is going to work. I can actually go to the casinos and say, we know that this game is going to work because it's been out there for 90 days. It's done these sorts of results. You're not going to be disappointed with it. And that's really important because all of these guys, all of these customers now have got very limited CapEx budgets, especially with the pandemic and what's happened there. And they want to make sure that the games that they're buying are games that are truly going to perform on their floor. So, that's a long answer to a pretty simple question, but we've come out with new games like Treasure Box, which I'm personally excited about. So that's on our brand new Peak Slant 32. I don't know, Victor, if you've seen our Peak Slant 32. That's another new cabinet we just launched in the last couple of months. It's got 3 32-inch screens. It's the only cabinet in the market that has 3 32-inch screens. And the bigger screen really helps us really kind of sets off the graphics of the game. It really just pops, because of the biggest.
So what do you guys? That's the other thing. I remember watching the development. I've known, gosh, I go back to Tom Baker with you guys. So
yes.
4 CEOs, 5 CEOs, and I've had friendships with you guys, and it's been wild to watch the technology. I know you have you had your 3D machines, then you had your 4D machines.
We still got
and stuff, and they're just incredible machines, and the graphics are so vivid, and especially now with computers and TVs being what they are, people are used to that type of crispness and just very vivid and colorful graphics and stuff. So that must be really fun to get those games on those big screens.
Oh, absolutely. And, we're learning all the time too. And then, something else I wanted to mention to you that maybe your viewers will find interesting. We're also experimenting a lot with new technology to help keep the machines clean and sanitized. We have now, we're pretty close actually to having a good prototype available where we have got UVC lighting built in to the slot machine. So just kind of imagine this: once a player gets up and leaves the slot machine, the sensor on the slot machine can tell that the player is no longer there, and then will activate the UVC light. The UVC light that we're using is, I think it's 222 nanometers, I think. And that basically flashes on and sanitizes the touch screen, the button panel, the bash buttons, and also kills any virus or bacteria that happens to be in the air floating around that machine at that time.
That's wild.
We've built this into the machine, yeah. So it's all kind of a nice little package. It's powered by this. It doesn't have its own power source. It's actually powered by the machine. And like you said, it's perfectly safe because the light, the strength of the light that we're using is safe to humans, and it only goes on when players are no longer kind of playing. As soon as the player sits down again, the light will.
Do you think that a lot of this technology is here to stay?
I do. I think I know we're living in the middle of COVID-19 right now, but I think people are going to be very more aware of these sorts of things in the future. Who's to say that there isn't going to be something like this again, or some other virus, or some other harmful bacteria, or some other health emergency that could impact us. So I do think that it is. A lot of the stuff is here to stay in terms of what
one of the things that you guys are doing that I found absolutely fascinating is that you guys have a mobile showroom on wheels. Tell me a little bit about this.
Yes, we do. We've had it for quite a few years now, and it's really, I think it's played even more of an important role than it did previously, because previously a lot of people would obviously come to trade shows and we'd meet them and everything and show them our products. But of course now, in this time that we're living, and I'm hoping next year we'll be able to get back to some sort of normality and have trade shows. But at the moment, we haven't been able to do that. Right? A lot of the meetings have been virtual. However, we have been using our little trailer, we call it, and inside the trailer we have our very latest products. And we're able to pull up to a casino, and people that work there, who, by the way, a lot of these people don't even when we do have trade shows, a lot of these people don't even get an opportunity to come to Las Vegas or go to San Diego, or Oklahoma to attend these trade shows. So they're able to come out and have a look and see our new products, and so it's been a huge success for us.
Well, so it's just smart. You know what I mean? I think the thing that was concerning about me in this, and why NIGA has started doing a lot of online content, was to get the message out there and stuff. And my big concern is people who are doing salespeople is more difficult. And I think building the mobile showrooms, and I believe there's maybe one or two other ones out there in the industry. I think that's important, showing up and bringing the products and making the tribes feel safe, and yet still getting there and making sure the tribes have the best products that are available. And speaking of new products, tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing in sports betting. Now, that's the other thing that has really moved during the pandemic. Has been sports betting, just incredible.
It has. I mean,
and the changing of the world. So tell us, my friend, tell us.
I mean, I like I said about 2020, to be honest with you, I can't believe that it's only been 2 years since PASPA's been repealed. I mean, in 2 years' time, we've gone from really only having, 1 or 2 states having sports betting to now 15. So IGT is live in 15 states right now. We have 40, I think it is 40, 40 sports books across the country that use our platform. I'm really excited about it. In fact, we're planning on going live in Washington State. We've got a number of tribal operators there in Washington who have signed on to adopt our sports betting platform. I won't name names yet because we're planning a big
listen.
announcement.
I'll just start going down a list of names, and you just like blink. All right, I know them all.
But I'm excited. That they're looking at a Q1, Q2 go live right now next year. So look out for that. But we had, some of the tribal operators were some of our first sports betting customers in the United States. So in Mississippi, obviously, with Pearl River, I think they were one of our first, and it's really grown since then. So we've got a full solution, retail solution as well as a mobile solution. We have some unique technologies. We have a terminal that is, so we've got the kiosk as well, sports betting kiosks. So for those casinos that don't want us to have a big, huge sports book set up, they just want to offer kiosks, we've got that. We've got a VIP type product where a player can basically sit at it looks a little bit like a casino machine. It's a little bit more private than a casino machine, but they're able to sit down at that machine. They can watch their favorite game. They can select a channel. They can plug in their headphones and listen to the game. But of course, importantly, they can bet right there. They can put their money into the machine and they can place a bet on the game they're watching or any other game. And by the way, if they want to play a poker game as well, they can play a poker game at the same time at the machine. So. We've got some really unique solutions in the sports world area.
It's just, I think we can expect here in California some really good things happen here. I think we can expect some good news in the next couple of weeks. To see the tribes in the ballot in 2022, I think it's going to be really important. So and first of all, Nick, we're close to the end of our time, but before we go, can you tell me what's up for the future of IGT?
Well, we just got our heads down, making sure that we're, like I said before, we're developing, the best content we can, making sure that we're supporting and servicing our customers as best we can during this very difficult, challenging period. We've got most of our workforce still working from home. In all honesty, I think 75% right now of our workforce is working virtually. So it's still interesting times, right? But the company is very well positioned to see through this pandemic. We just released our results a week or so ago. We demonstrated to the market that being a well diversified business has definitely helped us. We've got ample liquidity. So there should be no issues there. So fortunately, we're in a good position to see through this pandemic and come out the other side stronger and better.
Well, Nick, listen, I want to thank you very much for being our first guest on the show. Again, IGT has been a wonderful and loyal friend to Indian country for a long time now. So it's a real honor to talk to you. It's a real honor to hear about what you guys are doing, about the future of the industry. And we really appreciate you coming here. And on behalf of the National Gaming Association, I'd like to thank you. I'd like to thank our viewers for showing up. And also remember, this will be on YouTube and we can show it on later and we'll send it out there. So we really appreciate you and we really appreciate our readers. And thank you very much. Our viewers, excuse me. We really appreciate our viewers and thanks everyone. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks.